So I just discovered Marvel's secret plan after Infinity War, Doomsday and Secret Wars is to literally reset the entire universe and start from scratch. Honestly, I wish we had a few years to catch back up. But apparently that's not going to be the case. We're only going to have a few weeks to a few months at most. You have to catch up like 29 TV shows and potentially 29 TV shows and 20 and 62 films in all the matter of weeks to months. If at that point I'd just say cut the cord before Doomsday happens. So that way people can already see the new Avengers movie. But okay, let's look at this. Ant-Man was not in Phase 1. It was in Phase 2. It's Amazing Spider-Man. I wish that happened. Okay, but it didn't happen. X-Men Rebirth. Oh dear, that did not happen. There was no Spider-Man Darkest Hour turning point, and they wouldn't be able to... I sure if they actually had the rights to Spider-Man and Sony didn't, they would actually easily decide to do Spider-Man trilogy in Phase 2. They would easily decide to do it. Just, okay. Also, Ant-Man Wasp had a Thanos scene in my timeline, so it wasn't in Phase 2, it was in Phase 3, right after Infinity War. Now, this is where the differences get really weird. This was a Phase 6 film. It was called First Steps. This did not exist, X-Men Apocalypse. Okay, maybe I'll give you this, Doctor Strange. Actually, that might have happened earlier. Doctor Strange. It was a 2016 film in my timeline, so it came out earlier. But basically, Doctor Strange happened here. I'm actually gonna pull up the Super Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe in context to this too. I'm absolutely amazed that some Captain Mario is actually finally making edits to this. Hopefully he makes edits to like add in more movies and some of my recommended movies. But yeah. What else? Black Widow was not part of Phase 3, it was a Phase 4 film. I wish it was though. And then you got like Spider-Man Turf Wars that did not happen. I wish it did though. Who's the actor behind Spider-Man this timeline, by the way? I'm seriously... Benton Trowels? I thought it was Tom Holland. Okay. The fact that it's glitching out with The Amazing Spider-Man, which actually was what released in 2011 with Andrew Garfield, that's a glitch. Trust me. I have that movie. I might get before the timeline shift, unless if something happened. They might not be able to release Tom Holland's fourth outing as Spider-Man. Okay, I don't even know. Deadpool actually was... It was released in 2016 and made fun of... And both Deadpool 1 and 2 made fun of... And Wolverine made fun of the fact... In Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, Deadpool Wolverine made fun of the fact that Deadpool really wanted to be put in the MCU but couldn't. Okay, this came out in 2019, right? In your timeline, right? It came out in 2018 in my timeline, and Endgame came out in 2019. Which I would have preferred that over having to see Endgame in the heat of COVID. So I did see a version of Endgame, just not in like... Not... It wasn't... But the version of Endgame I saw... Wait, when was Endgame released? God, June. So what we're saying here is it came out in June, right? In your timeline, right? And I'm already betting you're guessing how much money it made in my timeline too. Like, apparently, if it comes out in June, right, that means COVID hit in your timeline right before that movie started, and you had to see it on Disney Plus, didn't you guys? Let me give you a hint how much that would have made on the box office. You want to know how much that would have made on the box office? This much. This much. Yes, I'm not kidding. Versus all other movies. Like, I'm not kidding about this. It would have made even more in your timeline, by the way. The only other movie that beat it is James Cameron's Avatar. Adjusted for inflation. Okay? With Way of Water coming close behind it. We're talking like almost beating James Cameron's Avatar, basically. And the only reason why James Cameron's Avatar beat it is because there's re-releases. So yeah, before Endgame, there was like before Endgame, before the Avatar Way of Water released, this was like the biggest one until James Cameron's Avatar got a re-release. And then you got the fact that there was like literally no 1 year break. You got this, which never happened. Shang-Chi and Legend 10 Unings, I think, happened in my timeline. This Force of Good Avenger didn't happen. This one, like, this is very different, actually. Not to mention, like, this 2023 film. I didn't know X-Men House of Men exist. Now, I'm going to be honest here. Quantumania, a lot of people hate it in my timeline, but I have a feeling you might be able to fix it. Because it is key to the multiverse saga, basically. So I have doubt you're going to be able to, like, screw that up. Because this does look like a better MCU of mine. I wish we got New World Order or Brave New World. But yeah, that's a lot, actually. Oh my goodness, you actually got a real Deadpool 3, not the Deadpool Wolverine. So what Deadpool 3 actually takes place at. Oh my gosh, that would have been so cool, by the way. Would have been better than what we got, actually, where they literally desecrated Logan's corpse. I don't even want to talk about that, actually. Nova would have been cool. Incredible Hulk would getting a new movie later on would have been absolutely amazing. Marvel to having more time so that we can flesh out the script and a better MCU so that we could do better and have more momentum could have been better. Oh my goodness, Doom's Revenge could have still been good. I would have preferred him to be a side villain and not literally like no. Let me look at this because I know who plays Doom in my time. It's the same guy who plays Iron Man. Who plays Doctor Doom? Dan Stevens. Actually, that's a better choice because it's not a meme choice. Spider-Man Reign. This is the better idea, anyways. I'd rather see Avengers King in Black release this than December 18th instead of Avengers Doomsday. Because Avengers Doomsday looks awful in terms of screenwriting and plot. Like, them using Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom makes zero sense. Yeah, they should have waited to do Multiverse of Madness for Part 3. Allfather, that would have been amazing, actually. I would have seen. Imagine if they actually did talk about the Allfather ones. Oh my goodness, you guys had it good, didn't you? And then I'm gonna have to catch up on everything from here all the way up to this in a matter of weeks. That is not going to be fun, actually. I'd rather do it in a matter of years, not weeks. Months, maybe, if I can dedicate time to it. Because that's a lot of watching. You also got like, I'm serious. And not only that, but let's just talk about this, right? You also got all these seasons that you have to catch up on, which is pain. You have to catch up all the way up to here, which I heard that says 2030. Actually, what it is December 14th, 2029. Oh my gosh, this would have been better, actually. And then you have to catch up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 special presentations. That's like almost 90 films. Just TV shows, plus whatever. That's almost as bad as catching up on this. All the way up to like film 122. Actually, this one's worse because you have to catch up for all the way 121 films. And then you literally have to, like, I don't know, watch all the spin-off films and read all the comics if you want a full, and all that. You have to literally, like, I don't know, watch all the short films, all that junk leading into this. Like, spin-off, and not only that, I don't think you're going to be able to do all the comics for this at all, if not ever. This, I think, would be more reasonable than even the MCU compared. If it starts with this, I'd rather it start with this, and then actually, as film 1, like what's happening with me, and then literally go into this at film 12. So that way I can actually watch this first and rewatch all the prior 11 films. Maybe even some of the prior spin-off ones. Then you'll literally have to do this, right? Watch Platoon, and then during watching these movies, rewatch all of this and at home, which would have been a huge pain in the ass. Or like literally going up to like this one and then having to rewatch while these movies start. Have to rewatch all of this to understand Subspace War and Armageddon. Which, granted, both of them were not as bad. This is somebody who is another alternate universe Wilfred Mullis example, and they're not like happy about it. He thinks they am worse than Wilfred Mullis actually, but this is my example. I guess if this was up to snuff, they would be counting this. But yeah, apparently I got it easy. Worst of all, it could have been like waiting. We could have waited until film 175 or 164 potentially. That would be impossible. There would be no way in human hell. Not to mention, like, let's talk about Lupin the Third for a sec. Yeah, the homework fatigue is real because it is real homework you're gonna have to do. I would rather watch Lupin the Third in timelinical order. Like, let's talk about this, right? Since Lupin the parts 4 through 6 are a prequel for 1, 2, and 3, these are like, and not only that, but they recap them in the Immortal Bloodline. So there's like literally no need to rewatch them anyways. But on top of that, you also got the fact that you've literally, like, they're only 25 episodes each. There's no 120, 52 episode season in this time. Good. And then you could probably watch this, rewatch the Immortal Bloodline when it comes to streaming, and then watch before part 7, watch 1. 2 is going to be the biggest struggle, and 3. And then you could probably watch parts 1, 2, and 3, leading up to, like, all the way up to part 7, which is going to be the first sequel one. That actually is not as bad. Granted, part 2 is the biggest hurdle, and you're going to have to figure out what takes place in the timeline. Whereas this is the worst song I've ever seen. Granted, it's actually worse than having to watch Splatoon and film 20, or like Mario and Sonic and film God knows, and it's better than that. It's worse than that. That's Mario and Sonic Splatoon's better because at least you don't have to catch up way too much. So Smash Bros. Is even being kinder to the other two. But this Somehow with the Disney MCU, I actually got a less of a catch up to do with this. It's all because you want to see the MCU working in my timeline. That's probably why they're creating this page, by the way. You want to see the MCU release timeline in sequence 9. This is the real one, actually. This is the real one. This is what's releasing. You see, it warms up here. See, there's a different set of movies. And then it completely cools down. We have no idea if these two are going to ever happen. It's not counting TV shows. So yeah, that is not going to be a pretty rewatch just for an alternate version of the MCU. Because they gave us they gave me the alternate relative to your timeline. Hey, they messed it up. Crap. Maybe I actually do think being sent back to be a child in 2006 against my own will. Whoever decided that, I'm gonna sucker punch them in the face. Because I'm actually gonna find a way back, because Wilfred Mullis, even though he was a pretty awful person, may have gained my entry back into the main timeline. Yeah.